Hello students, yesterday we have talked about cellular respiration and types of cellular respiration. Today we are going to read about respiration in human beings. When we talk about the respiratory system in human beings, it consists of two major components. First is respiratory tract and the second one is the respiratory organs. Now the question arises that what is respiratory tract? So we can say the path through which oxygen reaches up to the lungs and carbon dioxide is removed from the lungs, that is known as respiratory tract. It consists of several structures, for example nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea and bronchi. The respiratory tract is not concerned with the gaseous exchange. Now we will talk about the different parts of respiratory tract. First one is nose. It consists of two nostrils which are lined with hair and mucus to filter the dust out from the air and regulate the temperature of air. The dust which is present in the air, we are inhaling it, and the hair-like structures, they work as filters for this dust that it doesn't enter our respiratory tract. Now the second one is pharynx. The nose opens into two tubes, larynx and esophagus. The larynx is guarded by a flap-like structure called epiglottis. It does not allow anything other than air to pass into it. During swallowing, the epiglottis closes the glottis to check the entry of the food into it. Entry of food into the respiratory tract can be fatal. So it does not allow the food to enter the windpipe. Now the third part is larynx. It is the upper slightly swollen part of trachea. It is more prominent in men as compared to women. In the men, it is known as Adam's apple. Pair of vocal cord is also present which help in the production of sound, that is voice box. Vibration in the vocal cords result in the production of sound which is altered and converted into speech with the help of buccal cavity, soft palate, tongue and lips. Now the next part of respiratory tract is trachea. It is a long narrow tube extended through the neck and divided into two parts called primary bronchi. While entering into the thorax, the wall of the trachea are supported by a C-shaped structure that is known as cartilaginous rings. Now we will read about respiratory organs, that is lungs. In men there is a pair of lungs which are thin-walled, elastic, spongy. They are pinkish in color, triangular in shape, known as left and right lungs. Lungs are protected by the bony thoracic cage known as rib cage. Each lung is enclosed in a double-walled pleural sac. In between the two layers, space present is called pleural cavity. This pleural cavity is filled with pleural fluid. It has the following functions. This fluid prevents the lungs from the mechanical injury and shocks. Second one, it lubricates the lungs for the pre-expansion and relaxation. And the third one is, it keeps the lungs moist. Now the structure of lungs. The upper side pointed side is called apex and lower broad side is called base. The left lung is slightly swollen than the right lung, as the left lung has 2 lobes and right lung has 3 lobes. Each primary bronchi divided repeatedly to form a network of fine tubes giving rise to secondary and tertiary bronchi. The tertiary bronchi opens into alveoli sac filled with blood capillaries. In the next slide, we will read about mechanism of breathing.